Anybody there?
Uh,
Welcome back. Greetings, Starfighters. Welcome to Mad Science Films. I'm Jimmy P, filmmaker and sexual astronaut. And as ever, I'm joined by my supreme co-host.
nice. James Morrissey, one half of the Mad Science Films team, aka the man with no nickname. Yes, we're sticking with that one. All right, guys. So before we start the show, if you do like this video, then please hit that like button. If you've enjoyed the Mad Science content, then why not subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. If you have any comments or suggestions, then leave those in the comment section down below. Let's crack on with the show.
Yeah, thank you. Also, please check out our fourth feature film for free on YouTube. Just search for Little Monster. I'll say that again clearly. Little Monster. Or click on the link in the show notes below. So guys, this week we're campaigning for a forgotten masterpiece of genre cinema to be given the exquisite Blu Ray treatment. And this week is Jimmy M's choice. So Jimothy, what are you laying before our feet?
I'm bringing you a comedy classic from 1989, and this is Lobster Man from Mars. What's up? So, a movie mogul in search of a tax shelter screens a space parody about a young woman, a mad scientist, and a space monster.
I mean, it's got a mad scientist in it, so it sounds up our alley.
Perfect, mate. It's perfect. No, I stumbled across this a few months ago. I can't remember who recommended it or how I stumbled across it. And I watched it, and it was just, I found this hilarious. So many parts of this film just made me chuckle out loud. It's your typical film within a film, and starring some really good, well, you got Patrick McNee, you got Tony Curtis, the legend, which plays this Hollywood producer guy who's in a bit of a pickle with tax. Yeah, so before I go into it, Jim, what did you think? Is this your first time watching this?
No, I think this might even be my, well, I always watched it twice for the review, but prior to that, I think I'd seen it twice. So again, I think I'd seen it in my video shop days.
Yeah.
Growing up as a wee nipper. And then I also remember being lent it when I was working at a cinema. And again, most cinema employees are movie nerds, and so a guy lent it to me then, rewatched it. I must have been about 19 or 20, but hadn't thought of it since then. So this was like a trip down memory lane. Maybe not an entirely pleasant one though, but we'll get on to that.
Okay, so yeah, I enjoyed it. I would say this is a very good film. It's a fun film. Like, you do not take this film serious. Again, you know, it's quite a basic overarching kind of storyline. You know, production company who's in trouble needs to hire a flawed film to avoid tax issues, so it has to be a flop. So they pick up this.
It's like the producers, the Mel Brooks producers setup. Yeah, where, you know, they need a flop. And guess what?
The film is actually class, and I like the fact that the film, which is within the film, is a 1950s style kind of sci-fi horror with ridiculous. You just can't go wrong with that for a comedy horror. So what were your issues with this film then?
I'll start with what I liked. Always great to see Tony Curtis, even if it clearly is for a paycheck. I'm guessing they had him for maybe one or 2 days. You know, there weren't a lot of setup changes, really, were there? You know, a lot of it is him just watching a movie and commenting on it.
Apparently, he actually wasn't watching the film. Apparently, those scenes, he's not actually watching anything. So, you know.
So, I dug that. Patrick McNee, always got time for him as well. Interesting is that the young man star of the movie is Anthony Hickox. Who is a director in his own right. Waxwork, Waxworks 2, Hellraiser 3, and as featured on a previous episode 140 for Eclipse. So hey, it all ties back together again. Or we've just done so many of these episodes now that, you know, six degrees of mad science, clearly. So that's what I dug about it. And yes, I do like movies within movies. But I don't think the two kind of linked up, and I don't think the movie within the movie was as strong as perhaps they thought it was. And in my recommendations later on, I'm going to go into films which I think were much better as a sci-fi pastiche of that era. Yeah, that I think that was my main issue of it was, and I've got no proof for this, so this is why I think it would be an interesting thing to be released, especially by somebody like, well, I won't say because that's later on, but to kind of go into the making of and to see whether it just started as that pastiche or whether it was always intended to be cutting back and forth. Part of me kind of thinks was that they made a ropey sci-fi homage, and then to kind of justify how it doesn't stand up, or to and hats off to them if this is the case, because that's a way around it.
Yeah,
but I don't think it was entirely successful. And yeah, as you said, with Tony Curtis just reacting to something that he hadn't even seen, that also to me also kind of shows up by the fact they didn't link it better. I think they could have done a better job of linking the two bits together. And again, I mean, as a kid, I enjoyed it. When I was like 19 or 20, I think I dug it, but that might have been me being more polite to the guy who lent it to me, because I don't want to be a dick. But this time round, as a grumpy 41-year-old man, it wasn't quite landing for me. But that's me.
Yeah, I can understand some of that critique of it, I guess. I guess the film wasn't as well polished as you've probably seen in other kind of films. It could be because it's like an afterthought, like you said. But for me, all is forgiven. This film, it was so. Do you know what? Sometimes you kind of watch a film and you think to yourself, this looks like they're having a lot of fun. Patrick Macnee looked like he was having a lot of fun playing this crazy mad scientist guy, surrounded by terrible props, terrible monsters, but taking it all very serious. And he was really kind of, whether that's just his acting skills or whether he did actually just enjoy doing the role. But nevertheless, I enjoyed watching that. Everybody seemed to be having fun. You got the private detective stuck in his own little world, giving these voiceovers that just said the same thing time and time again. Cheesy little gags. I mean, I watched this a couple of times, and similar to kind of My Mum is a Werewolf, there was gags within that I didn't pick up on until the second time round, and when that was great. I just love that stupid comedy, and I think that's what this film is just. It's easy to digest. It's not very complex. It is just a lot of fun, and it is poking fun at that kind of 50s sci-fi genre. So, with a bit of homage to it as well as taking the piss. And it is just a fun, ridiculous film, I guess. And that's all I was looking at it as. And I enjoyed it.
I need more.
It was... Do you know what, though? It was a very good-looking film, though, I'd say. There's a lot of good scenes in that film. A lot of good DPing from the guy. I think the guy who DP'd it was actually worked on Hellraiser 3. What else did he work on? I did write those songs. My handwriting is so terrible. I'm struggling to see what the fuck I put it on. Yeah. The DP, the film looked pretty good. Yeah, the storyline wasn't the best, and they could have tied things in a bit more neat and tidy. But again, good fun film, and for that simple, basic reason, I enjoyed it. And Patrick Macnee and Tony Curtis in the same film. So
yeah, let's agree to disagree, but let's also agree that you're wrong. Right.
All very subjective.
So, who do you think is best placed to put this bad boy out for us?
Well, I think there's a number of the big boys. You got Arrow, you got 88. It's such a varied film. Like, it's a sci-fi, it's a horror, it's a comedy. And like you said, it'd be nice to see a further investigation into how the storyline come about. So that'd be quite cool. And I think a place like Arrow could do a good job with that. 88 Films, they could probably do some cool artwork as well with that. And I think they could probably pair it with other films this film's associated to, like Hellraiser 3 and those kind of films. So yeah, that backstory.
Released Hellraiser 3, so yeah, that's a good link.
I like all that interesting kind of who worked with who on other films and the DP and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of cool backstory and pretty cool.
Yeah, I went with Arrow as well. Yeah, more for the extras and the hope that they would kind of like, interview everybody involved, dig deep, and kind of answer that question: which came first? Was it the concept of a movie within a movie, or was it a salvage job? And yeah, again, I think there definitely can be a place for an Anthony Hickox box set. I think we suggested for the Eclipse for Arrow in the past. So yeah, Hellraiser 3 Eclipse, and yeah, let's go for it with Lobster Men from Mars. So
yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Okay, so Jim, you having your movie nights. You want to follow it up with a double bill. What else are you going?
Yeah, well, I think if you're still chuckling at those silly gags and you want a bit more, then check out films like Airplane with Leslie Nielsen. I think they got some really cool. There's a lot of satire, comedy. So a bit of Airplane. There's numerous films actually with Leslie Nielsen you could pick, but Airplane's
Dracula, Dead and Loving It.
Yes, exactly. Classics like that. If you like that film within a film, Princess Bride with Fred Savage, so you could have that was done very well, that film. So going back to Jim's point, if you want to see it a bit, that film within a film did a bit better, then definitely Princess Bride. And if you want some killer monsters from outer space, then maybe check out Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Good fun, good fun film. So there's my three.
I would say all your recommendations there are much better than the film you brought to the table this week, but each to their own. Okay, I've gone with Terrorvision. Do you remember Terrorvision? So again, that's more TV, but again, it's kind of like a comment on TV and entertainment in the same kind of time period, the 80s and all of that. And another one which I was having a look to see where it's out on Blu Ray, and I can't see it out on Blu Ray, so it may well be a future episode. Spaced Invaders. So again, it's kind of that alien invasion movie thing, thrown back to the 50s, but much more in a low budget Amblin style. Won't say much more than that because I definitely do think it's worth a future episode. So yeah, check out Spaced Invaders if you can find it.
Cool.
Okay, so what about you guys? Have you seen Lobster Man from Mars? Did you dig it, or were you slightly more team Jimmy P?
You're wrong.
Yeah,
this is a classic, people. Classic comedy.
If you have, let us know in the comments. Also, let us know if there's any other films you think we should check out as part of our voyage into the underrepresented parts of genre cinema. And Jim, what else can they do?
So remember, guys, if you like this video, then hit that like button. The likes do help the channel on YouTube, so please hit that like button.
They make me feel fuzzy.
It does actually as well. Also, any comments, let us know what you think of this film and mine and Jim's comments. Put those in the comment section down below. Come follow us on Facebook too as well. So happy to have more banter over there. So that's it, guys.
Follow me.
Follow us, stalk us. Right, that's it from us. Till next time. Thank you and goodbye.